September 1924, um, in fact, 1924 onwards, right till the 1930s, there were riots, a series of riots that kind of had a cascading effect. And one of these very initial riots in 1924, while the Rangeela Rasool case trial was being on, in Cohort, which was a Hindu minority area, a highly objectionable and blasphemous poem was published in May 1924 by a notorious Muslim-centric newspaper named Lahore, which read that we shall have to burn the Gita of Kirars. We shall break the flute of Krishna. O Muslims, you will have to take up the sword and destroy the existence of Kirars and burn their goddesses. So there, the local secretary of the Sanatan Dharma Sabha, Jivan Das, then in retaliation printed a poem by an author from Jammu, which read, "We have kept quiet so long, we shall have to speak out. O Mullah, you must gather up your prayer carpet and take it to Arabia. We shall build a temple to Vishnu in place of Kaaba and destroy the existence of the Namazis." Now, several contemporary Hindu writers who knew the fact stated that the local Muslims were very fond of abducting Hindu women, married as well as unmarried, and converting them to Islam through fear of sword. And Jivan Das's booklet contained strong strictures against such a barbarous practice. And this was brought to the notice of Gandhi, who, however, pushed it aside in his Young India writings and said that it is not possible for anybody to kidnap somebody and convert them into Islam and so on and so forth. And so the source for this paragraph is Muslim Appeasement by V. Sundaram. Then, following this publication, inflammatory speeches were made by Muslim leaders in mosques. On September 3, 1924, Maulvi Ahmad Gul and Qazi Miraj Deen led a Muslim crowd to the Assistant Commissioner of Police's office, S. Ahmad Khan, and demanded action against Jivan Das, or else they would take action as per Shariat. Shariat law, it definitely says that any offense committed against the Prophet is to be met with death. And so that was the Sharia law. And so they threatened that if the police doesn't take any action against Jivan Das, they would take action as per the Sharia law. And Maulvi Ahmad Gul and Qazi Miraj Deen received support from other clerics as well, such as Shaheen Shah and Mia Fazul Shah. Khan assured them that Jivan Das would be prosecuted under 505 and 153A. And then a few days later, on September 8, Jivan Das was released on bail and asked to leave the district until the conclusion of the trial, for, of course, fear of his life, because they had made very clear that they wanted to punish him according to Sharia, which was an extra legal and extrajudicial kind of punishment that they wanted to enact. The ulemas held large meetings and convinced the Muslims of Kohat that Das had been let off. At Haji Bahadur Mosque, fanatic Muslims took the oath of talaq, that if they couldn't defend their religion, they would divorce their wives. And on September 9, 1924, a crowd of about 1,500 Muslims first went to meet the Deputy Commissioner Riley and forced him to give in to their demands. And for 2 days, what followed was uncontrolled arson, loot, and murder by the Muslims at the Hindu Mohallas, followed by exodus of entire Hindu and Sikh community. Casualties of Hindus was 3 times more than Muslims, and it took a week to douse the fire by the British police force. I've given the source at the bottom. Now, as I mentioned, that there was a series of riots from 1924 onwards, and this is mentioned in B.R. Ambedkar's book, Pakistan or the Partition of India, in chapter 7. So, 1924-25, there were riots at Lahore, Lucknow, Muradabad, Bhagalpur, Nagpur, Shahjahanpur, Kankinara, Allahabad. 1925-26 also, we see Calcutta, United Provinces, Central Provinces, Bombay Presidency, and the scene was some minor Hindu festivals were celebrated, and the Muslims objected, and then there were riots. 1926 and 27 also, you see communal riots happening. This continues to 27 to 28, and this is which has been noted, and these all had kind of similar origins and similar consequences.